diving into the invisible system that actually guarantees the quality of so many products we rely on every single day. We're going to break down something called Good Manufacturing Practices, or GMP, and see how it really is the bedrock of any world-class quality management system.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? When you take a pill, you just trust, you expect that every single one is identical, that it's safe, and that it's going to do exactly what it's supposed to. Well, that incredible consistency, that's no accident. It is absolutely the result of a meticulously designed and rigorously enforced system.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get the basic puzzle pieces of quality down. Then we're going to move from theory to practice, designing the blueprint, putting it into action, and learning how to get ahead of risks. And we'll wrap up by looking at how to keep the whole system healthy and, crucially, how to build a culture where quality is just part of everyone's DNA. Okay, before we can build anything strong, we've got to make sure we're all speaking the same language. So let's start by nailing down the core concepts we'll be working with. So at the very bottom, the absolute foundation is GMP. Think of this as the rulebook. It sets the minimum non-negotiable standards for, well, everything. Your facility, your processes, your people, all to make sure that your products are made correctly and consistently every single time. All right, next up, we have quality assurance, or QA. Now, if GMP is the rulebook, QA is the strategy for making it happen. The key word here, and I really want you to remember this, is proactive. QA is all about designing systems to stop mistakes from happening in the first place. And that's huge, because preventing a problem is always cheaper and safer than fixing one after it's already happened. And that brings us to quality control, or QC. This is the hands-on, reactive part of the equation. The QC teams are right there on the front lines, inspecting raw materials, testing the final product, all to catch any defects that might have slipped through. So here's the easiest way to think about it. QA puts them out. What is that? Okay, this is where things can get a little confusing. So let's clear this up right now. GMP isn't the only standard out there. The big difference is that GMP is legally binding, and it's laser-focused on product quality in regulated industries like pharma. ISO 9001, on the other hand, is way broader. Its goal is customer satisfaction, and it can apply to any industry. They're different tools for different, though sometimes complementary, jobs. All right, now that we've got the lingo down, let's start building. We're moving from just concepts to actual construction. We're going to design the blueprint for a solid quality management system, or QMS. You know, a really strong QMS is built on a pyramid of documents. Right at the very top, you have the quality manual. That's your why. It explains your whole philosophy. Below that, you've got policies. That's the how. Then you get into the nitty-gritty, the standard operating procedures, or SOPs, which define what people do every day. And holding it all up is the base, the records. That's the undeniable proof that you actually did what you said you were going to do. But look, all those documents are totally useless without clarity. And that's where process maps are an absolute game changer. To get rid of any gray areas by defining exactly who is responsible for what and when they need to do it. It makes sure nothing ever falls through the cracks. A blueprint is no good if it just sits on a desk, right? So in this next part, let's look at how all these documents and plans actually come to life in the real world, on the production floor and in the lab. This is really where the rubber meets the road. SOPs are that critical link. They take those high-level, sometimes kind of complex rules from GMP and translate them into simple, clear, repeatable steps that anyone on the team can follow, day in and day out. This is how you literally build quality into the process, instead of just hoping to catch mistakes at the end. But hey, let's be real. Even in the best systems, things are going to go wrong sometimes. That's where having a rock-solid deviation process is so important. It follows this really clear life cycle. First, you identify that something went off script. Then, you dig in and do a thorough investigation to find the real root cause. Next, you resolve the immediate problem. And here's the most important part. You put preventative actions in place to make sure it never, ever happens again. And that last point brings us to a huge evolution in how we think about quality today. The goal isn't just to be good at fixing problems anymore, it's to be amazing at preventing them from ever happening. It's about a fundamental shift from a reactive mindset to a truly proactive one. You know, the old way of doing things was, well, it was basically firefighting. You'd wait for something to break, for a test to fail, or worse, for a customer to complain. Then everybody would scramble to figure out what went wrong and try to fix it. It's just so inefficient, it's costly, and frankly, it puts quality at risk. The smart way, the modern way, is called quality risk management, or QRM. This is all about systematically looking at your processes and identifying potential risks before they turn into failures. You find your weak spots and you strategically focus your energy and resources right there. It's about building bridges over potholes instead of just constantly fixing flat tires. So, you've built this amazing system. You can't just walk away now, right? A quality management system isn't something you build once and forget. It's a living, breathing thing that needs constant attention and care to stay healthy and effective. So how do you keep it healthy? You have to check your own work. The best way to think about internal audits and self-inspections is like regular doctor's appointments for your quality system. They help you find and fix the small issues before a regulator does, or even worse, before a customer does. And you can't manage what you don't measure. This is where key performance indicators, or KPIs, are so powerful. Just look at this simple dashboard. It gives a manager an instant health check. See that rising overdue bar? That's a clear red flag, a warning sign that a process needs attention right now, long before it blows up into a crisis. You know, we've talked a ton about documents, processes, and data, but honestly, none of that works without the most important component of all, the people. The ultimate success of any quality system comes down to building a true culture of quality. A strong quality culture doesn't just happen. You have to build it, brick by brick, and it rests on 4 key pillars. Leadership that doesn't just talk about quality, but lives and breathes it. Continuous training that gives people the skills and confidence they need. Open communication where people feel safe to raise concerns. And finally, a sense of personal ownership from every single person on the team. Ultimately, it all boils down to this one simple truth. The best GMP system is worthless if people don't believe in it. You can have the most perfect procedures in the world, but if your team isn't bought in, if they don't believe in it, the system will fail. Culture is the glue that holds everything together. So as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this one question to really think about. When you look at your own organization, is quality just a binder on a shelf? Is it just a set of rules that people follow because they have to? Or is it a deeply ingrained shared mindset where every single person feels responsible for building quality in every single day? Because the answer to that question makes all the difference in the world.